So for this video, I am continuing the trend of what I've been doing this week, and that is showcasing the lists in MtG Arena that I've been playing lately. Again, if you didn't see the other ones, these are for the best of one format because I don't have a collection to play the lists that I want to play, let alone support playing those lists and a sideboard quite yet. So I focus on best of one for now. This is the version of Mono Red I've been running. I've put some other videos on this channel before. Most of the core is still the same. A lot of direct damage and or creatures with haste. Wizards because they combine very well with Wizards Lightning. The big changes between this list and some of the previous versions are the card draw allocation. So currently 4 light up the stage, 2 risk factors, 1 Chandra, 1 Frenzy. Now I'm running this for a couple of reasons. One, I only own 1 Chandra, but also by kind of diversifying my options, I'm finding that I'm just doing better overall in certain matchups. When I was running multiple Frenzies, sometimes Frenzy would brick on another Frenzy. When I was running multiple Chandras, typically people are running a lot of Planeswalker removal right now, so they don't stick around very often. Risk factor has been actually very good for me. For a long time I had taken it out, but it's been making a comeback. And so by combining the 3 along with more traditional, core, it's been doing very well. So like I always do with these videos, talking about the deck, now we're going to go play a couple of games just so that I can show the deck off and you can see what my current version is doing in best of one. Game 1 on the Boogeyman of the best of one format, Mono Red, and this looks reasonable. We would like to be on the play instead of the draw. That's, just pretty standard if you're on Mono Red, but we've got some 1-drops. We'll start with this one because it can attack. Got some burn, got Frenzy, which is resource extension. Oof, alright. This is likely 4-color Dreadhorde, which is not a good list, not a good matchup for us. Simply because the Merfolk Branchwalker can just beat Mono Red by itself, and even if you get them low, if they get a Command the Dreadhorde off, they can oftentimes very effectively still counter you. Now, this is still okay here. Could use this, which would allow both of these to attack, and I think that's what we're gonna do. Just because we also have a number of mountains in our hand, and the reality is next turn we're likely going to slap down that Frenzy. Unless we top deck something amazing that we want to play from hand, we might just develop this and then do our best to try to burn them down as fast as possible.
I only pick my to the shadows for now.
Well, do you remember when I said if we get something amazing? Alright, so we'll get rid of this for now. And we'll go ahead and develop the Steamkin, because Steamkin is worth it. If this sticks and you can combine it with Frenzy, you can do an awful lot of work. Problem is our opponent, oof, found another one of those, huh? And it's another mountain on top as well. This denies a draw. That Vraska means we're just going to lose our Steamkin. I think at this point we just need to get the health total low enough before they find their Command the Dreadhorde shenanigans.
Meditate and prepare.
One of the nice things about this matchup is if you can get their health total low enough, then they can't actually use Command the Dreadhorde effectively. However, this means they can continue to gain health. This means our Frenzy is going to be turned off.
Oh, I've done the hero thing.
Okay. I'm very surprised by that. I thought for sure they would bounce the Frenzy, knowing that we would have to spend mana to reinvest into that again. mean, that's the other thing to consider, right? Is Experimental Frenzy just let you do silly things? No. I want to select you as an attacker. Sometimes the phases gets me a little out of whack here.
That didn't go according to plan.
So I'll go ahead and do that. Outside of risk factor, we don't really have anything in our list that actually, like, hard draws additional cards. So Narset doesn't, like, matter a ton sitting there. Alright, so there is our Nemesis. We might legitimately have to sacrifice these firebrands just to deal with that. Play our land and get bricked. Rather unfortunate. This will likely eat our Chain Whirler this next turn. Attacking it isn't going to prevent that, sadly. Problem is now that they have found a Wild Growth Walker, they can still likely use Command the Dread Horde to heal up. So again, we just need to get that health total as low as possible so that they don't get too much back from it. So that is certainly what they are aiming to do. Ugh. That is also a nightmare. As I said, this is not a great matchup because of this single card. Massacre Girl's not something we want to run into either, but... Steam Can, land. You know, we're finding an awful lot of lands here. They'll likely just let me draw the cards here if they're smart, as opposed to taking the 4. Interesting. Interesting and very problematic, actually. Hitting so many lands on this frenzy is a bit of an issue. For a number of reasons. We didn't find anything that allowed us to kill that Wild Growth Walker. Not a single direct damage spell that we could even, like, combine here. So sadly, we're stuck passing the turn, and that means if they have multiple ways to explore, they can do that. With the Massacre Girl, we're kind of trying to bait that. Though the problem is we can sacrifice these so that this gives each other creature -1/-1 and it kind of shuts it off, but then they could use the self-sacrifice to make it keep going. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of life. This is the problem with Wild Growth Walker. Well, this is also the problem when you draw so many lands, right? And we have seven lands in play, 3 more in our hand, and another one on the top of our library. For a deck that runs, I think I'm only running like 19. We are certainly on the high side. Alright. Narset's annoying because it does mean that they can dodge the damage on this, should we have wanted to do that.
Everyone is expendable, except me.
Yeah, now they're comfortably back at 17 with another Ranger. This is up to a 4/6, and they found a big Teferi. Wild Growth Walker. Turns out it's pretty good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take this ping here, just because we want to play this light up the stage at a discount. There is a chance that we could actually still pull this off. Oh, holy land, Batman. The flood is real. Alright, I'm not convinced that we win this unless we just burn them out. And naturally, it's a risk factor. Maybe we'll get lucky, and they'll just take the damage. So 100% of misplay. Hey, they took the damage. Okay. If you're watching this video, don't do that if you have Narset on the board. Do not do that. We're gonna keep going here. I mean, we were kind of owed this after drawing so many lands, right? Oh no. Did we get there? I think we got there, right? We still have Shock and Wizard's Lightning. We have no business winning this game, for the record. Our opponent... So before I play this Wizard's Lightning and finish him off, I want you to pay attention. Each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. So with risk factor here, you can say... No, just draw the cards. And then Narset will stop that. You just say, draw the cards. And then Narset goes, no, and nothing happens. So, I only won this because my opponent decided to take some unnecessary damage. Though there's a chance that's not the case. I might have just played the risk factor, got no value from it, and then still had enough burn because we'd weeded through a number of lands there. But whether or not it resulted in a victory, the point here is if you have Narset on the board, just ignore risk factor. And let's jump into another game. Let's play another game on Mono Red. Game 2 on the Boogeyman, Mono Red. Not that Mono Red is overpowered, it's just highly represented in the best of one ladder. And this looks reasonable. Again, we want to be on the play, but other than that, we got a lot of 1-drops. We gotta light up the stage. Yeah, let's go with the Firebrand because it attacks. Considering this because the following turn we're likely going to shock this to get rid of the blocker, and then after swinging, light up the stage means this activates, but playing it later, we can still take that game plan, for example, but playing it later, it'll have haste anyway. Oh, alright. So they're just gonna go ahead and say... Say that they don't want to play with us, huh? Let's get rid of this one. And I suppose develop this. For now. Find another land. Yeah, I was gonna say Judith is likely coming here soon with this Rakdos list. If we find another land, Chain Whirler is still gonna be our play. Then we'll just get rid of Judith. At least we're making them play defensively. Alright, so we did not find the land we were looking for, but we did find a removal option. And since they're targeting that, we're going to go ahead and hit them where it counts to activate our light up the stage and find those lands we were looking for. Now, we could just attack to try to get rid of that. However, the following turn, we can Chain Whirler and then Firebrand to potentially remove this. So I think we're still going to go with the no attacks here. We can always attack into that next turn anyway if they play another Judith. But right now, things are looking up. Oh, all right. At least we made him use the skewer on that and not our Chain Whirler. So we can, in fact, still get a full clear here. Which is good for us. Relatively even on health, lands, and cards, but we're the ones left with a Chain Whirler, so that is a great position for us to be in. Get the Pyromancer in. Cheat our Chain Whirler in for some damage. Leave this back in case they play something that we really want to get rid of. The real key against this personal version of Rakdos is to make sure that Judith stays off the board. Alright, we'll do this end of turn. I don't like leaving ourselves without an option, but we do want to clear the path to make sure our creatures can continue to attack. I know technically you typically play your creature's second main phase, but when you know they have nothing in hand, we're just gonna be a little bit greedy and do it this way. Ooh, Frenzy. Okay. This is gonna be game for us then. So we can get in here with both of those and catch them with the skewer, and that's that. So fast games, but you expect that with Mono Red. That's why Mono Red is a favorite for many, many people on the best of one ladder. That's why it's so prevalent, because the games are fast, win or lose, and you can play a lot of them. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. If you have not yet subscribed, you should consider doing so. Do all that other YouTube stuff like the video, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to get better at reminding people to do those things because I'm just terrible at it. But if you do so, I appreciate it, and I hope to catch you in the next video.